This is the review. We're on note-taking study guide, page 104. And the question for the chapter was, how do the Incas adapt to their environment and achieve an advanced civilization? So, how did environment infect them, and what was their achievements? Okay, so real quick, the setting, Inca setting, this should be all review. The human settlement was hard because of high elevations, cold climates, and steep slopes. Okay, farming innovations, they had terraces, and this allowed crops to be planted on slopes. They also raised livestock, animals, llama, and purposes pack animal meat, and the alpaca, which is a source of wool. They also had irrigation canals for farming techniques as well. The Inca society, they had social classes, they had nobles, and this was by birth, by appointment, and the Caracas. And if you remember, by birth was those closest to the royal family, to the emperor. By appointment was those that had done some kind of service, and the Caracas were those that were local chiefs who were given kind of a noble status to continue ruling their people. Okay, commoners were divided by age and gender or sex, and you did different jobs based on how old you were and your gender. So it was very strict, very clear cut. This is what you do at this certain time of your life. Okay, their theology or their religion, they worshipped many gods. Okay, and a couple of them are Viracocha, Inca, and they also worshipped nature spirits. And they performed rituals to win the gods' favors. Okay, their administration methods, they had organized government, which was a chain of command, was very orderly, so it was a very strict hierarchy. The Quechua was language, a certain kind of language, and it united the people. And they had a census. They could organize their citizens. They actually did a census, very, very thorough census, and that made them so that they, because it was a welfare state, they could distribute goods as needed, distribute people as needed to where they had to work and things like that. And as I said before, they had a welfare state, and the effects met the needs of the people. Okay, and there were benefits and negatives to being a welfare state, which we've discussed in class before. Okay, and their achievements. Okay, they had a bunch of achievements, which we've already. Some of them are like the terraces and irrigation system would be achievements as well. But in agriculture, in engineering, they had in architecture. They built large structures out of stone without mortar or cement. Okay, and if you remember from the video, they would scrape them together and put them together perfectly, which is quite amazing because if you look at our buildings today, we do use cement and mortar. Obviously, it's easier to do that, but just the sheer engineering skill needed to make buildings that could withstand earthquakes. In the Andes, there's lots of earthquakes along the Ring of Fire. Is pretty incredible. Okay, they also had a road system spanned more than 15,000 miles, and this tied the civilization together. In arts, they had metalwork using gold and silver, creating jewelry and things like that. And in textiles, they had cotton, alpaca, wool, and vicunu wool, and textiles, beautiful patterns, and which you can still actually purchase today in places like Peru.